Man, it never gets old, right, Harvey?
Never, man, never.
I mean, especially right now. I mean, shoot, man. Yesterday, it was an overreaction kind of show that we did. We covered obviously what we liked a lot about the game against the Colts. Obviously, we highlighted how the defense came to play. And we're gonna go ahead and continue that breakdown. So let's go ahead and see what we have in store. I know that there has been some news of that the Cowboys have been making of as of late. Obviously Kendall Sheffield. They picked up Kendall Sheffield, and of course he's a cornerback that Dan Quinn he drafted him in the fourth round when he was the Falcons head coach. Well, the Cowboys have claimed him, and he's been activated and is practicing. And of course, the other news was Tyron Smith. He also has been activated, and the goal is to see him practice tomorrow. So we shall see. And I think the expectation is if he responds good, he will have an actual chance to play against the Texans on Sunday. And just most recently, the Cowboys signed Alexander, right? The defensive back, formerly out of Clemson. He was selected in the second round by the Vikings, and I think he played with the Dolphins most recently. So, definitely the Cowboys have been filling in some of those roles. But let's go ahead and get right to it, right? I mean, we want to talk about I've been talking about it. I've been saying, Harvey, have I how much have I been saying about CD, man? I mean, I've been trying. I probably sound like a fanboy of CD Lamb, right? I mean,
Pretty much, man. But just the things that you've been saying over and over. I think what people don't understand is, Cowboys fans are impatient, man. They want it now. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, man. We've been going through this for so long. We want it now. But what you have to understand is when you're not the guy and you're just free to do whatever you want, it's a lot easier to play. But when you become the guy, all eyes are on you, man. You're getting double, triple teamed, underneath coverage, top coverage. Everywhere you go, they're covering you, and it gets a little difficult. And I think you'll see in some of the clips, you'll hear Mike McCarthy talks about it. But it's a little bit harder when everybody has eyes on you and everybody's tracking you throughout the game. But I think CeeDee Lamb is stepping into that role. And as you can see, the last couple of games, he transitioned a little bit better, and he's getting better every week, man. It could be dangerous.
I will say this before we roll the tape and roll the clip, right? I don't really see the same kind of play calling. In fact, I kind of see what you said as far as getting scheming them up open, and you've been seeing that, right? They've been using the tight ends to get him open. They get that. I mean, literally, he's in motion. He even said it after the game too. So we don't really see him doing those option plays, which is good, right? They're literally just trying to scheme him up. It's kind of like what you said. This is what the Cowboys should have been doing the entire time. But let's get right to it. Somebody asked Mike McCarthy a great question about CD Lamb, and man, it's like preaching to the choir because I've been saying this. I think it's even right now we're live on TikTok. We love you, TikTok. But go back and check the recent TikToks. I mean, you can see how far back I've been saying this stuff about CD Lamb. But let's hear from Mike McCarthy, right, when they asked him specifically about CD Lamb.
How has CD followed the path of the guys that you've been around that have moved into a number one role?
Excellent. I mean, I go back and I look at when Greg Jennings got his opportunity, Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb, when those guys were given that opportunity to play both inside and outside, they go to a whole different level. And CD is definitely in that mode right now. So it's exciting. You just see the confidence that he has, in his route running, the yards after the catch was phenomenal last night. I think he's doing exactly what we're asking him to do. He's playing at a high level.
How is CD?
He is playing at a high level, man. I love it, Ari. I mean, have you seen the play? I mean, can you say yes, you've seen the same thing that I've been seeing?
Yeah, yeah, and you're right, man. It's just I think they were just trying to play him the same way he played last year. You can't do that. You have to move him around, put him in motion. And as you noticed, he goes in motion. And once they see what covers are going, or if they're rotating or not, What happens is he goes back into motion the other way. If you notice that, what they're doing is they're trying to see where they're at and if they're going to roll coverage to his side or not. And if they're not, they go back the other way and run the play. So it's actually pretty smart. That had to come from Mike McCarthy because, like he said, he worked with Adams and Nelson and all them. So I think he figured out a way to fit CD Lamb without having him double team or triple team.
Well, you always put me on the spot, Harvey. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Here we go.
Is CD Lamb a number one?
If you asked me that in the beginning of the season, I say no. But now the way they're actually using him the right way, you have to account for him, man. You
But
have to.
But do we have to say the way they're using them too? I mean, because honestly, if you go back and watch the tape, this guy's being double teamed, triple teamed.
Yep. Yep.
Literally, he is literally changing up what defenses are doing. They can't run their defense because they got to take care of CeeDee Lamb. Because he said it very clearly. He says CeeDee Lamb brings the yak to the actual game. So that's just one phase, right? That people don't look at. They always want to say, oh, what is he? Let me see his stats. And in the NFC currently, he is leading in stats as far as yardage and Yak also in the NFC. And I'm not, mind you, I'm not talking NFL, I'm talking NFC. So right now, yes, he is the best. He is the actual best right now in the actual NFC. So it's good to see that. I'm not a fanboy. I'm actually seeing what I'm seeing. I'm actually calling it ahead of time. So I love it when we can actually get that validation. So enough about that, right? Because I think one of the comments yesterday is like, "Hey, why you guys be so overcritical?" It's like, well, that's kind of the whole part, the whole purpose of being, covering the Cowboys, right? Is to kind of bring that awareness, right? Understand like this is what we're seeing, right? Obviously we've been watching the game for quite some time. You know, play it, watched it. We got to see these Super Bowls when we were young. Little kids, and of course, being able to see how the Cowboys have, missed out and man, quite some time now in the Super Bowl, right? And we finally have a team, which I'm going to go on the limb right now, and I'm going to go ahead and just say it. We talked about this earlier, and you know what? Let's make it fun. Harry, who is the most important person in the entire Cowboys organization right now? I mean, it could be player, it could be personnel, it could be, VP, it could be owner, anybody. Who would you give that the MVP award to the Dallas Cowboys organization right now? And why?
I'd have to say Will McClay.
Woo! Let's go, baby. Now, normally we don't agree on a lot of these things, but I did bring up a good point earlier when me and you were talking, right? Where content creation is not easy, guys. This is not easy. Doing it, Harvey. Number one, is this easy?
No, it's not, man. It's a lot harder than people think.
It is a lot. It is a lot difficult. But the great thing is that when you have football minds that are very in the game a little bit more than just watching it, right? And I'm not saying anything. I don't mean to belittle anybody, but I believe the conversation that me and Harvey were saying, I was like, I think that Will McClay is actually the mastermind behind this entire thing. I think that he saw the actual I think he was frustrated just as much as any Cowboy fan out there and said, "Hell, I think if the way this offense is continuing to have their struggles, I need to get with Dan Quinn and I need to get him the player personnel that he needs to give him a defense that can complement, if not be able to carry the offense." So I think that Will McClay has honestly, they don't give enough credit to Will McClay because I think this is all Will McClay. Because I mean, if you look at head to toe, this rookie class, all pretty much fourth round and below. And I believe the way it goes is the first round pick goes to Jerry Jones, second round pick goes to Stephen Jones, and the rest is Will McClay's playground. And you know what, Will McClay, I'm pretty sure there's been a couple of misses here and there, but hey, for the most part, look at the situation we're in right now. We're hated by Eagles fly Eagles fly, right? And we're hated about Niners, right? Forever faithful or whatever the heck, whatever the
Basically, fuck them.
I don't know, but yeah, whatever. I don't care. I those are not my teams. Those teams have their own worries, right? To worry about. But it is a very unique situation that we have on hand right now. Will McClay, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, and Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore. They have right now the best team that anybody right now could have seen or could actually have right now in the NFL. And then keep in mind, Tyron Smith is coming back. Man, we've been breaking down Tyler Smith, the rookie first round pick that we have, and wow, he looks great at guard. There's some plays we're gonna figure out a way so we can post it here so you guys can see it. And there's a play where he actually stood up DeForest Buckner playing left guard. Wow, man, I'm just saying this is great, man. But you see, you need somebody like Will McClay that can put exactly the actual players in the right spot and be able to slot it and say, hey, Jerry Jones here. This is what we need. This guy, he has my stamp of approval. So hats off to Will McClay. Now we can kind of Harvey. I don't know if you want to add anything else to that.
No, I think with that comes with I think I hate to say this, man, but Jason Garrett did not do a good job of making sure these players played. I think he favored a lot of players and started people that shouldn't have started. But if you look at Dan Quinn, not everybody gets a certain percentage of playing time. It's not the same players out on the field on defense every possession. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I have noticed
That
that.
means a lot of those guys can play. So he's like, why not rest some of these guys and just flip flop them and different situations to your advantage, and they're still playing, man. As you can see, Bland, man, he's obviously Jordan Lewis got hurt, but we would have never seen that guy if he played off and on. But man, he's going to be something very special, man. I'm telling you. But I like the fact that we actually play them and not just have them on the sidelines just to watch a game.
I mean, think about it. Dante Fowler, right, who was the Jaguars' third pick overall in the first round, he's been written off of the league for years now. I mean, not only Dante Fowler, but I mean, pretty much Tack McKinley. I mean, the list goes on and on of the players that right now are at literally
Not,
second team for the Cowboys. Go ahead.
not only that, Jerry, but you also got to think Hendershot. He was undrafted. He plays a lot. He plays a lot for an undrafted rookie.
Man, we have a clip, and we're gonna play that clip tomorrow because man, that got crazy with Hendershot, and he chose the Cowboys. You guys are gonna want to tune in tomorrow, but that's all we'll say about that. But go ahead about Hendershot.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that guy's playing a lot, and that's what I'm talking about. If you got to trust these guys and you got to play them, they're never going to develop. They're sitting on the bench. So that's what I like about what Mike McCarthy has changed or Dan Quinn or whoever did, because that's going to make us better in the future. So that's the part I think that we talk about longevity, right? I think that's going to help us in the long run, honestly, Jerry.
Hey, TikTok, I appreciate the likes. Thank you so much. Hey, we're even getting some gifts here and there, but man, we are up to 1,400 likes, man, on TikTok. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Obviously, if you know how TikTok live works, you gotta hit the like button so it can get out there, right? So that's the great thing, man. And thank you so much for all the all the love and support. We really do love this. I believe yesterday was actually officially a month that we actually started the Cowboy Cast. So, man, thank you so much, man. None of this could be possible without you guys, and that's why we continue to do it. That's why we grind it out Monday through Friday, twice on Sundays. Is for everybody that's a part of Cowboys Nation that wants to grow together, understand it, and this is gonna be all year round thing, man. Because during the off season, that's when the work really starts, man. That's when Will McClay is out there doing his work. Free agency, all that good stuff, and that's what we plan to do, man.
So
Yeah,
I want to say something, Jerry, real quick. Just kind of reiterate what you said. Number one, we did this because we love the Cowboys, right? That's first and foremost.
America's team.
Exactly. Number two, we just like talking football, regardless of what it is. The third thing is we hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, you're a Cowboy fan, you don't know nothing." Well, we're here to change that. So we're putting out stats, we're putting out injury reports, players. It gets you the understanding of what's going on, so you can talk, right? Not just talk and say, "Oh, you're toxic." No, man, I know about my team. I know who's playing. I know who's the slot corner. I know who this is. So I just want to put that out there, Jerry, so that way they understand that it's for them, man. It's for the people.
That's it is exactly right, man. And you know what? Me and Harvey are not gonna agree a lot of times, man. And you know what? Maybe one day we'll turn it into a heated debate.
A debate.
We'll see it, man, because
Hey, we gotta, Jerry.
we've
We gotta do that.
we've already
We gotta do that one day.
we've already debated, me and you going back and forth, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, I think ultimately somebody had recently got to me, right? Not got to me, but they had said about sorry about that, guys. On TikTok. I covered the screen, but somebody had said, "Hey, you need a little bit more context to what you're saying about the Cowboys defense and the 49ers defense." So, let's go ahead and cover that real quick before we move on to Mike McCarthy's second clip that we have for you guys. And then, of course, if you have any comments on YouTube, we see that we do have some people viewing on YouTube and of course Facebook. Hey man, reach out, say something. You guys have any if you have any questions on TikTok, the same thing, man. We're here for you guys. So let's look at the 49ers for a bit, right? Because it's an interesting team. They have a solid defense. They do have some worries though. They got a rookie. In fact, they got Mr. Irrelevant, which I heard somebody say, "Hey, what happens if he becomes the Tom Brady for this team?" Hey, that would be kind of cool, but it kind of makes you think, like, man, did they miss out on Trey Lance? Did they give up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance? All debatable, but let's go right into it, right? Let's see here. 49ers. They played the Chicago Bears. They lost 19
did
to
lose.
10. 19 to 10 against Chicago Bears. Right now, would you say the Chicago Bears are no? In fact, the Bears are the first team to be statistically eliminated from all playoff contention. Did you know that?
Yep. Yeah.
Then it was September 18th. 49ers beat the Seahawks. Seahawks have had a pretty good year, but they have Geno
Yeah.
Smith. But I mean, do they put up gaudy numbers on their offense? No. I mean, it's an offense that's predicated on what the running game can do for them. Then you got 49ers against the Broncos, 10 to 11. They lost. They lost to the Broncos, man. And we
Horrible.
we know what's going on with the Broncos, man. Then the Rams, 24 to 9. Wow, they won. They beat the Rams. Panthers versus 49ers. 49ers won 37 to 15. 49ers lost to the Atlanta Falcons 28 to 14. We all know what's going on with the Falcons, right? The Chiefs, of course, the excuse there is Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're one of the top teams in the NFL. Yes, statistically speaking, yeah, they are pretty good. They do have a pretty good solid quarterback, but they lost 44 to 23. So I'll put the Chiefs up there. That's a pretty good team that they face off of, and they lost. 49ers versus Rams. What do you know? 49ers beat the Rams, right? And the Rams, are the Rams just picked up Baker Mayfield to be their quarterback. Doesn't look like it's a good situation for them. Chargers. 49ers beat the Chargers. Can you believe that? They beat the Chargers, but of course, the Chargers are not the team that we thought they were. In fact, it looks like a team that's in regression. 49ers versus the Cardinals, 38 to 10. They beat the Cardinals. We talked about this. The NFC West is not the NFC West of old, man.
Yep.
Cardinals, I'm done saying what I'm going to say about the Cardinals. At this point, I'm going to be a troll. Well, you know what? I'm trolling. I don't care. That's why I'm wearing red today. Not only that, but I heard red makes me look good. 49ers beat the Saints. Oh my God. Did anybody see the Saints?
What was the score? 13-0.
13 to 0. And then the Cowboys. the 49ers, they actually beat the Dolphins, which I would say I'll give it to them. The Dolphins are probably the second best team that they've on their schedule that they faced, 33-17. I'm just saying, they got the Buccaneers ahead, they got the Seahawks again, they got the Commanders, they got the Raiders, and they got the Cardinals, man. So when you look at the schedule and look at the Cowboys schedule, the Cowboys from the get-go, Buccaneers, Bengals, I mean, we had it. And then we have the NFC East.
NFC East, man.
NFC East, man. It's not there's NFC East is no joke, man. This is no joke. So that's why when you ask for context, I'm giving you context right now. In fact, you know what? I think you guys need to pass the bucket. Whoa, somebody's passing the bucket on TikTok, man. We're getting gifts. We're getting love. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, man. I feel like I
Hey,
just
Jerry,
church.
why'd you take everybody to church, man?
We got rap. If CD is now number one, do you sign an injured OBJ? Woo, good question. He is out of the building. He has officially left the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
I think, to keep it kind of short, not too long, but I think Jerry's doing the right thing. He's not going to sign this dude if he's not going to work out. And it's probably going to be an incentive-based contract. He's not going to load that contract up. I mean, Jerry already said it. He's going to make it uncomfortable for him. So, hey, man, we got James Washington coming back. We got, is it Galloway?
Yes.
From the Browns?
From the Browns.
Man, I think we're fine, man. And the way CD's playing, I think we're okay, man. If we add OBJ, it's at a super cheap contract. Nothing that's going to hurt us. And if he wants to play and win a Super Bowl, then that's on him, man.
I mean, obviously, I let Steven Jones take care of that because he's done a pretty good job as far as getting it going, as far as incentive-based contracts and all that good stuff. But I did make the prediction. I said, you know what, this is gonna be prolonged. It's gonna be we're not gonna find out overnight type deal. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want OBJ on their team? I think that goes across the board, but obviously OBJ has narrowed it down. But right now, what we've been able to see is that his knee is not where it's supposed to be. And from what they found out was the first time they operated on it, there was something that I guess they just did not do the right way. And so it's looking like he won't be available to early January, mid-January. And that's kind of basically like playoff time. So you do need a couple of games underneath you to get you got to catch your legs and whatnot. We got a first timer, man. Let me see. Is it Action Jackson?
Action Jackson, 88, baby.
88 club, man.
88.
First time on
That's
the show.
awesome, man.
Show some love. Hey, love right back at you, man. Round of applause, too.
Yeah, man. Appreciate Action Jackson, man. For sure. Love, baby.
Hey, even if I hope you're a Cowboy fan, number one, but if you're not, hey, welcome, man. Let's have some fun. Hey, join the discourse. Whatever you have, let us know, man. Hey, man, we're still getting likes, man. We're at 2,800 likes, man. I love this, man. TikTok is nice, actually. Sometimes
they can be savage sometimes.
Well, the comment section can be kind of savage, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, it is what it is. We've been having a lot of fun on there. It's something unique. It's something new. But let's go ahead and get to the next. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and get to the next clip, right? And because we're talking about defenses right now, right? And I went through a whole 49ers spiel about, I gave you context to why I said the Cowboys are a better defense. Obviously strength of schedule is a big thing. People don't understand that, so I had to give you a little bit of context to go with it. But definitely right now the Cowboys have a situation. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. Anthony Brown, obviously we lost him for the season, Achilles tendon, and of course we lost Jordan Lewis. And then we're going to go ahead and round off the show right there, right? But do you sign an injured OBJ? Just to answer that question, Ram, I say, you know what, at this point, if OBJ is not going to be available, no, let's just ride with James Washington. Like you said, he's been in the building. He's been in the Star. He's been looking at the film room. He's been looking at the playbook. So he looked, you know what I'm saying? I think at one point when he was with the Steelers and Big Ben looked healthy, hey, he looked good. I think that he could bring a little spark and be that third person that we need. We don't really need him, right? But I'm just saying maybe if we need to, he could be that person that could fill that role. But let's go ahead and hear what he talked about, because they specifically asked him what does he do from here without Anthony Brown, right? So let's go ahead and take a listen.
And Anthony, what's the process?
Well, I mean, that's really for for the week. But I think if you just point to the game, I mean, you got Calvin and Nashawn will he's been very consistent. He hasn't had many opportunities, so we have young players that need to step up.
You look at outside the building for help, practice squads or free.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think our numbers reflect that. So I mean, we'll continue to always look at players, both the practice squad route and obviously where we are on the 53-man roster.
Is it difficult to poach guys at this time of year?
Is it difficult?
Yeah.
I think those types of situations are singular. It's been my experience. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but I would hope that I would like to think we're an attractive option right now.
Skyrinks with the AP, huh?
So he's just said it, man. We're an attractive option at this point, but obviously that kind of like there's been some concerns, right? What do we do from here? Do we move DeRon Bland out? I think we talked about that. It's actually on the TikTok page. We actually put that on our IG, on our Facebook, and on our YouTube too, right? Is DeRon Bland ready? Harvey, you had a great, you said something really great. You said, "Hey, man, this young man has, he's answered the bill. They gave him the opportunity and he's done it. But obviously, there is a plan in place, and it looks like they're going to go." He mentioned Kelvin Joseph first, and then he named Nashawn Wright. I have some buddies of mine that actually, well, one buddy in particular, he actually likes Nashawn Wright. He would like to see Nashawn Wright. He's been asking why we don't see Nashawn Wright, because you're talking about a guy that's 6'4", has the length, has the size, the speed, but for whatever reason he hasn't been able to break into it. But Kelvin Joseph, from what we've seen, is damn, he can tackle, especially if you see him on special teams. Number one's not hard to miss out there in the field, but the first time, man, that he was out there, I guess was it against the Packers?
Yeah, it was against the Packers. Oh, were you talking about the punt return?
No, Kelvin Joseph as a corner.
Oh, playing the corner? Yeah, he was.
This year.
Yeah, it was the Packers.
So let's just say Kelvin Joseph is the route for the Cowboys this week against the Texans. Obviously, the Texans is a good game to get some practice or some playing time. How do you feel if Kelvin Joseph is your outside corner outside of Trayvon Diggs and DeRon Bland at the slot?
So I think with him, sometimes he's undisciplined, but there's something weird about him that just, I don't know if he doesn't, like, there's times he wants to take that, he's aggressive and he wants to pick that ball and he gets burned. But there's just something about him that, I don't know, it's taking him a little bit longer to develop that position. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's scared to get burned or I don't know. I really don't know, Jerry, but I think that he's the type of guy that has to get repetition. He has to get the reps. He has to get it every week, getting better. So I think he's that kind of player, but we'll see, man. I think Israel, I don't even know how to say his name. You always help me out.
Okuma.
I think he should play corner.
He does have some good ball skills, man. I'll say that.
But Kelvin Joseph, I see what they're doing. That's what you drafted him for. So we need to see what he's got. But I think we'll be okay. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. He's aggressive. He's a little bit more aggressive than Brown is, I think, in my opinion. But we'll see, man. I like Kelvin Joseph. He just needs, I think he's that type of player that he needs to continue to play, just like Zeke. Zeke needs to get the ball in rhythm and keep getting the ball and keep getting it. He gets better as time goes on. I think that's going to be Kelvin Joseph. He just needs to play, man.
I think with Kelvin Joseph, what I see is just he's there, man. He's there. He's there with the receivers. It's like if he doesn't get his arms up, man. And a lot of times it looks like he gets kind of caught up looking at the quarterback that he just loses track of the receiver at times. I'm specifically talking about the Packers, but most recently he just doesn't get his arms up. So I will say that, with Kelvin Joseph, obviously he was a high second round pick. I think it was out of the same year out of Micah. You don't want to go into year three and then finally turn turn everything over to Kelvin Joseph. Because I can tell you this much right now. I don't know if Anthony Brown's gonna be with the Cowboys next year. I don't even know if Jordan Lewis will be with the Cowboys next year. So definitely I've already seen it. I've seen it on Twitter. People already saying, hey, I think this is going to be a position of need for the Cowboys during the offseason is seeing about investing in a corner. But we've been investing into corner for a while now. But maybe it's time we invest a first round into a corner. I think that's what they're specifically speaking. But you can obviously see what the moves they've been making, right? What is it? Mackenzie Alexander, right? That's the one that we just signed to our practice squad. If he does get lifted, I mean, we've seen him play a lot of slot, so that definitely kind of shows what you're kind of saying. Hey, we might see Deron Bland. So if Kelvin Joseph is not the guy, I'm pretty sure Nashawn Wright that he'll get an opportunity. If he's not the guy, maybe see if we can push Bland out, have Alexander there. But we did hear right. Kendall Sheffield also they plan to get him in the rotation. So we're gonna see. I believe his jersey number is gonna be 32 to be exact for Kendall Sheffield. So
You know what's crazy, Jerry, about Kendall Sheffield, right? This is weird. I watched his highlights at Atlanta, right? He kind of reminds me of a Tyreek Hill, but playing defense.
because he's so fast, man. That's the thing.
He's like, yeah, he's quick and fast.
People don't know this, but he was a 5-star recruit out of high school, and he was a track star. I think he broke so many records, and not only that, like not only I believe he broke them I think he broke a record in the hurdles, which is insane. The hurdles is not even easy at all, man. That's probably one of the most difficult things if you're going to run track. But the guy's a track star, so yeah. The thing with him is, yes, his speed is it's very attractive, but that's a unique. I will say this: that's a very unique player comp. So you're saying he's a cheetah, but on defense.
Yeah, he's so fast and quick. Like he'll lose a guy and then he'll attach them like within like seconds. Like it's like he stays on his hip. He'll lose him for a little bit and then he'll get on him real quick. Like it's weird, man. But I was like, it reminded me of Tyreek Hill, but playing defense. It's kind of weird.
Well, I will say this. What I do like about him is that he does get his hands up. He gets
Yep,
his hands up a lot.
he does.
He doesn't get a lot of turnovers, but he gets his hands up a lot. But you got to be careful because a lot of times you wouldn't see him turn back. Man, TikTok 3,800 likes. I love it, man. I love it, man. But you guys keep it up, man. You guys keep it going and let's continue growing, right? But I will say this: good game plan. Obviously, I think Mike McCarthy has done a tremendous job, and not only Mike McCarthy, but all everything that they're allowing Dan Quinn to do, and bring in his players that he feels comfortable, to keep this defense, keep it rolling in the right direction. I will tell you this: these next two games is going to be very helpful for the maturation of either Kelvin Joseph or Nashawn Wright to really step in. Because, like you said, if they make a mistake against the Texans, if he makes a mistake against the Texans, that's cool. I mean, it's not cool, right? Because we're gonna be, Cowboy fans are just frustrated at this point. So we're not gonna lose. Number one, I'm just saying if he gets burnt, you know, I would say okay, let's take this as an learning experience. But come Jags and he does the same thing, is it time to
Yeah,
pull the plug on Kelvin
yeah,
Joseph?
yep, yep. Because I'll tell you, you're right. I think the margin for error for him against the Houston's, he's okay, man. We have such a great defense. I think it's fine, but I say, hey, man, let him play. You picked him high in the second round. Let's see what he's got. With help or without help, we got to find out what he's got because we got a long road. We got to find out now. There is no time. Like we're gonna play some tough teams after these next 2 weeks, so it's time to see what he's got, man.
Well said, man. Well said. But obviously, the Cowboys have a plan on defense, and that's the great thing, right? To address it, and we're gonna see how that happens. I mean, shoot, I'm pretty sure once if he gets toasted, man, we're gonna hear from all the
Yeah,
all the Eagles that are flying, right? Obviously, the Eagles that are not flying high, right? Because Eagles do, tendency Eagles are supposed to fly high, but these Eagles, they don't fly that high. So, we'll call them chickens or roosters or whatever. But then, of course, and then the Niners faithful, man, they like to bring out the stats. They like to post it on their social medias. It's funny, man, and whatever. It doesn't matter. But you know what? I'll tell you this much right now. I am starting to get more trust in Mike McCarthy. And if you are a Cowboys nation, I would say this: have trust in this. Harvey, anything else, man?
No, man. I'll leave you all with this. If you look at the Giants game, they made adjustments. That's rare with Mike McCarthy. With the Colts, they made adjustments. So I think that's a good thing going forward, man. I think Mike McCarthy is getting the reins on Kellen Moore and be like, look, man, we can't be doing what we're doing at this moment. We need to change something. So I like it, man. I'm optimistic. This is the game we're supposed to win, right, against the Colts, and we did it fashionably. This is another team that we're supposed to win. Let's show the way. If we keep this up, this is not the Cowboys of the past, man. This is a different team that we've seen before. Like we haven't seen before in a long time. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait for Sunday.
I'm excited too, man. Like I said, the window is wide open too, man. Like we're not just talking about this year, man. Like that's why it irritates people, is because they know it too. This window is wide open right now. I mean, you're talking about at minimal 3 years, 3 seasons. I say more because the team is so young, but right now, immediately 3 seasons for sure. I mean, you're talking about not only playoffs, you're talking about Super Bowl. And I think that right now, since the NFC is so weak, I think this is a great opportunity. And like you said, the adjustments you can tell they're really evident, right? And it's great because once the Cowboys are able to retain the lead, they turn to the running game, and now they start closing it out. And now when teams want to start passing, they're gonna have Micah and company. And you know what? Look what happened to the Colts. They didn't want to pass anymore. They got into victory formation. That is the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. Victory formation. They weren't even. You're talking about. I don't even know. They have to create another word. It's not victory formation. I've never seen anything like this in the NFL. But definitely a defense press it on. Hey, thank you so much to TikTok. We're still getting gifts. We're still getting likes. I appreciate it. Hey, well, that's it for us today.
Hey, thanks TikTok for sure, man. Appreciate it.
For real, TikTok.
Hey, don't forget the hat.
Oh, yes. That even goes for TikTok too, man. So, obviously it's a true brand. Very, very popular cap, especially, for all the Dallas Fort Worth. But I mean, you obviously you can see Dak and pretty much the majority of all the Cowboy players wearing these caps. But if you go and look on True Brand, it's very difficult to get that cap. But that cap is actually up for grabs. It's going to require a subscription to our YouTube channel. Obviously, make sure that you're public so we can see at least your email address. From there, you're entered into this cap giveaway. And then from there, you give me the address and we'll send it off to you. So, well, thank you so much. Let me say goodbye to those on TikTok. Hey, we appreciate you. Same time tomorrow. Tune in. Appreciate the like. Appreciate all the love and the likes, man. Man, TikTok was nice today. Hey, and for everybody else who joined us on our Facebook and YouTube, thank you all so much. Remember, subscribe, like, and share. We'll see you guys tomorrow.